Hey friends, welcome back to the Off-Grid Cabin. So we've owned this property deep in the heart of the Manistee National Forest in northern Michigan now for 6 years. We have no running water, no electricity, not much cell phone coverage, no septic system. We're basically fully off-grid in the truest sense of the word, and we will never have power here. The U.S. Forest Service will not let us run power lines through the forest. Not that we would ever want to. It would be very, very expensive, and we can't go the other direction because there's a protected river and we cannot run power lines across the river. So the very first purchase we made after buying our cabin was this Honda EU2000 generator, and there's all kinds of generators that you can buy to power up cabins and your house and your refrigerator when the power goes out, all these different things. And the main thing that I wanted was light, reliable, and quiet. And this Honda fit all of those things, but it's expensive. They run about $1,000 for one of these things. But it's been flawless since over 6 years now. So I recently did a video kind of on like the big picture of our cabin and how we make everything work here, being totally off-grid. Everything from the generator, how it hooks up to the cabin so that we have lights. We can charge our phones. We even have a little 15-inch TV with a built-in DVD player, and Rachel loves to get that out when it's raining and watch movies and stuff like that. How we collect our water, how we take showers, it's kind of all covered in that video. And at the end of that video, I kind of talked about the desire to move our cabin solar and get some solar panels, maybe one of those little solar generator units, basically a portable about the size of this unit here, that's basically a bank of batteries with an inverter built in to convert that battery power into 110 to power our cabin, and a charge controller so that you can plug in solar panels. So during our last visit to the cabin, towards the end of the trip, I told Rachel that, hey, when we get home, why don't we email a couple of these companies and say, hey, this is our situation. Do you want to send us something to try out at the cabin to see if it's going to work? And we never sent the email. And before we even got home, out of the blue, MAXOAK had sent us an email about their Bluetti line of solar generators. And because I guess they're having a big sale right now, we want to send you one. Do you want to try it out? We're like, yeah, sure. Perfect timing. It's like that weird karma thing that happens. So I think about 3 weeks ago, I received the unit from them. We've had it, this is it here. We've had it at the Homestead. And one of the first things I needed to do was buy some solar panels to go with it because it doesn't come with solar panels. So I worked with their engineers, did shopping on Amazon. I picked out my first set of panels. I sent them off to their engineers. They're like, nope, that's too much. Because there's a certain amount of voltage and amperage input that this will accept. And I was way overshooting things. So I scaled things back and I ended up going with two 200-watt panels from Rich Solar, which puts it right in the pretty close to being at the max that this thing will take from an amperage perspective. Not quite voltage, but this is a good middle of the road setup for me. And I was so excited for this trip to the cabin. We've been here now, today's day 5. I was so excited to try this setup out. I'm thinking, man, we don't even need to bring the generator. Let's just bring this setup. We'll be good to go. And today, day 5 of our trip, is the first day we've had sun for more than 10 minutes at a time. So it was quite disappointing and really discouraging at the beginning because I thought, man, what is this? It's just real life. Because like, what better testing than real life when you have 5 days of nothing but clouds and 2 days of it being full days of rain? How can we use this and integrate this into our off-grid cabin experience to get some benefits out of it? And just like that, the sun is gone already. So according to marketing material from MAXOAK Bluetti, the EB150, which is the model we have, will run a 32-inch LCD TV for about 15 hours, smartphone for 156 hours, a CPAP machine for 21 hours, Nowhere in their documentation can I find how long will it run my cabin without any sun. But that's what we figured out over the course of the last 5 days, is that we normally only use power in our cabin in the evenings. Once dinner time comes, we take whatever we're cooking out here on the fire, we bring it in, we would fire up the generator, run our lights, charge our phones, listen to the radio. But now we're doing that with this unit. And we're finding that we're consuming about 20% of the battery power per day at this point, which surprisingly is pretty good. And part of the reason for that is all of our lights inside the cabin are all LEDs. They're not the old school incandescent light bulbs where a 100-watt light bulb consumes 100 watts. They're LED ones, so it's a 100-watt equivalent light bulb that only uses 11 watts. So, and being a little bit conservative with our power, like in the past we would just turn on whatever lights we felt like turning on and leaving on with the generator. Now we're being a little more conservative about it. If we're not in a room, we turn the lights off. And it's been working quite well for us. What we have been doing though, since there's no sun, is that when we're out doing chores, like yesterday we cut almost all of this wood back here behind me. We spent about 5 hours working on that. Or if we go down to the river and go fishing, times like that, we'll fire up the generator, plug in the AC adapter to charge the unit, and charge it while we're off doing something else, and we don't mind the sound of the generator. So when the evening comes, this guy's got a good charge. It can get us through the evening in perfect peace and quiet. We hear nothing. It's basically a silent unit, other than if you draw a lot of power from it, there's a fan that'll kick on in the back, but it's not even in our cabin, it's in our shed, so we wouldn't even hear that to begin with. This operation is pretty simple. This top button here powers up the unit as a whole. The second button here turns on DC outputs, so that turns on these USB ports and the 12-volt cigarette style outlet, which is regulated. So if you're running like a 12-volt mini fridge or one of those 12-volt little coolers that cool themselves, this would be perfect for that because it's regulated power. It's not going to dip below 12 volts. And then the bottom one turns on AC outlet, which powers up the two receptacles in the back. So it'll do continuous 1000 watts of output, but knowing that this can only store 1500 watts, if you were pulling 1000 watts off this, you'd only get about an hour and a half out of it. So while we haven't been able to do a whole lot of testing with the solar panels here at the cabin, because for the last 5 days we've had clouds and rain, I did do quite a bit of extensive testing at home before we even brought it here using the panels I purchased. And on a perfectly sunny day at just the right angle in our northern Michigan climate, those panels will pump out about 350 watts into this unit, which means I can charge it from dead to full in 5 hours, 6 hours, somewhere around there, which is cool. So long term at the cabin, is it always going to be cloudy? No, we're going to have some sunny days. Next spring, next summer, next fall, it's not always going to be perfectly sunny, but we found a way to adapt this into our lifestyle here at the cabin and take advantage of the quiet and the peacefulness that we love so much about this place. Now, I have used it in other scenarios at home on the homestead as well, like for my beekeeping, doing my oxalic acid mite treatments. The first 3 rounds of treatments that I did, I brought the generator way out in the field with me to power up my vaporizer. I don't bring that with me anymore. I bring this, it powers up my vaporizer just fine. When I'm done with it, I bring it back in the garage, I plug it in and charge it for the next time when I need it. So this week has been for me kind of like Christmas morning and you're a little kid and you get this nice big giant present and you rip open the packaging and it's a snowboard, and you look outside and there's no snow. Nice new solar generator, new solar panels. We're up at the off-grid cabin and no sun. Without charging at all, I could definitely run the entire cabin for at least 3 days, maybe 4 days if we were skimpy on our power. I found uses for it back on the Homestead as well. We'll probably transport this back and forth with us, including the panels, if we lose power at home. And we have sun. We can probably run our 2 freezers off of this with the solar panels, assuming we have sun. So we'll be transporting it back and forth. And for the most part, when it comes to things like this, we try to not do stuff like this if there's nothing in it for you guys. Coupon codes are a big thing for us in promoting somebody's products and testing somebody's products. So MAXOAK did send over some 10% off. Yeah, I think mathematically it works out to about 10% off coupon code for this unit. There's a larger unit, there's a medium unit, and even small little portable ones that you can just pick up and carry around. I think their entire line is basically supported by these coupon codes. So we'll leave those codes and some Amazon affiliate links down in the description for you guys if you want to check them out. If you have questions, you want more details on the solar panels that I picked up, you have one of these units and you're looking for some panels, I'll link my panels as well down in the description. So thanks a lot for coming along. More to come, I'm sure. The sun can't stay hidden forever, right? See you guys soon.